breaking the mold. Legends and warriors go toe to toe. It's getting hot, raise up the temperature. So hot, the fire is burning up. Heat wave, nobody's safe. Tonight is the night, today is the day. Come on and get ready, the time is right now. Shake up the place from the roar of the crowd.
Welcome to the Summerslam review. Do you like that?
That was great.
Right?
That was absolutely beautiful.
I didn't know Katie Price was in your room.
Yeah, someone shouted at her vagina.
Well, so the camera stops here. What you don't see here and here is just two legs just. And then Harvey Price right in his turn. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the SummerSlam review show. First show without Big Vinnie Mac. Certainly, well, this wasn't a full Triple H show. It definitely saw things that were thanks to him.
Yeah.
So without further ado, nearly echoed again. We'll crack straight on. I've got notes to run down each match, etc., etc. We're very professional here. I'm sure you all know that. Match one, the result: Bianca Belair defeats Becky Lynch with the KOD in a match that went 15 minutes and 10 seconds. Great match as always between the two. There are reports of Becky's shoulder popping out mid-match, which, if true, gives the performance we got even more of a wow factor, because apparently that happened mid-match.
That actually makes sense, because I was wondering why she was doing a left-handed handshake.
Yeah, I think the whole world,
Done.
Twitter exploded with that.
Why is it the left hand? What's that all about?
Yeah, there are reports that her shoulder came out mid-match, so if that is true, it would make sense for the handshake, and also just adds to the fact they carried on and had such a great match. These two always give us a great back and forth and even better in-ring story. 1 year on from the return of Becky Lynch and the squash of Bianca, this story between the two, with Bianca getting a big win, Becky turning face, which in my opinion needed to happen. With that pre-match left-handed handshake. And then as Bianca was celebrating, the music hit, and we got the long-awaited return of Bayley. She was accompanied by the return into the company, Dakota Kai, and the NXT call-up of Io Shirai, who is now being renamed Io Sky. The rename isn't a big issue to me, personally. No. She was the genius in this guy in NXT. So it's a nice little tie into that. To be fair, most renames lately haven't been too bad, with the exception of Butch. But I feel like that's going to change along the lines, back to something along the lines of Pete Dunne. Now Papa Paul's in charge of creative. I can't imagine him, who, had
push for him to have a 500-day reign with it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to push for that and be like, yep, Butch. I popped huge for Bayley, as Danny can attest.
I can imagine.
We just both sat there.
Yeah,
I just want to point out that every prediction we've had for the last 2 years, from women's rumbles, WrestleMania, and everything, you've continuously said, "I want Bayley back." And that's been the main thing consistently for 2 years, or however long it's been that she's been off the shelf for. Yeah, and so I'm glad that moment finally happened for you, sir.
I am too. I actually have in my notes, I popped huge for Bayley and I popped for the others too, but we all know Bayley owns my heart. That's in my notes.
Not to do with the rest there, but to do with me.
It's a complete different spell in my name. So that was great for me. Great for everyone. The pop was huge. Social media erupted. She returned wearing the all white, which made me laugh, because I don't know why. It's not like this guy's the only person to do it, but it reminded me of when we was getting the build up for Batista Undertaker, and he came out in white shoes, white chinos, and a white turtleneck jumper. It was nice to see Dakota out of nowhere, especially since we had no news of her signing back. That was a legit, something that was managed to keep silent
under the carpet.
But what do you guys think of this match? What did you like or dislike? Rory.
He said me because I was eating.
Yep.
Mini Cheddar's Red Leicester flavour, just in case anyone was wondering what my dabbling was. No, I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was a really, really strong way to kick off the SummerSlam, because what WWE have dictated in terms of how the shows are structured, you tend to have your best matches on first and last.
Yeah.
Your first match to bring everyone into the show and make it clear that you're not fucking around. And
the last one to close out the spectacle.
And the last one, yeah, exactly. And I mean, general thoughts on SummerSlam by this point, just like the first 20 minutes or whatever, the whole thing felt like it was a massive deal. Now, I know SummerSlam's like one of the big four anyway, but there's been years where we've had...
There's been years where, except for maybe a main event or a return appearance, it's been plenty of times when it's just being another...
It's just another show,
event.
Yeah. And it's rare that it feels special, and... I think, to be fair, I think this year in general, WWE's been doing a cracking job of the premium live events.
Well, they've had to make it up.
I'm going to say it's like they've realised what they did at Rumble, isn't it? They've just
they have to do a year's worth of good pay-per-views.
Just
ruining the best pay-per-view of the year.
That is true.
To be fair, now they don't really have to with the change in management, do they?
That's true. Because the problem with the Rumble was reportedly Shane, wasn't it? And that's the thing. And they've said, no, Shane, no. But I think everything about this.
What they said to him. No.
No.
Well, I just thought, no.
You pissed us off that much, Shane, that you're not facing Seth at Mania. We're going to go and spend a fucking fortune on Cody Rhodes just to fuck you off, to show you that another second generation star can do it better. That is essentially exactly what Vince did.
I think that was in the contract.
Done this shit.
I think that was in the contract.
The actual conversation was, look, Shane, Dusty's kid wouldn't have done this shit. Why is mine? So they just picked up the phone and there we go. But I thought everything about this was great. The match was brilliant. I like the fact that Becky turned face because Raw is heel heavy for the women's division, especially now that Liv's gone to SmackDown, because we've had Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH turn heel recently. Well, not recently, but over the last calendar year. Alexa Bliss is still in like a sort of tweener role at the moment. And I'd say she's more face than heel. But
I think,
but it's not expressly stated.
It goes back to whatever.
But she's still coming out with the doll thing, isn't she? So it's like it could switch at any point if they wanted to.
And she did say like, I don't need. Like, what's the doll's name? My mind's going blank.
Lily or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Lily. Yeah, in the promo, she was like, I don't need Lily. Lily doesn't need me. So fucking get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not allowed to. Abortion's illegal now in America.
It's not abortion if it's already born. It's not abortion if it's already born.
That is true, but I do want to appreciate how smooth that was from Danny there.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah, heel heavy now.
Yeah, especially now they've added 3 new heels.
3 new heels, but I feel like we could, and again, like, he's head of creative, but there's going to be more people in his ear. But now we could get, because I'm sorry, no matter whether she came out to beat somebody up or to save somebody, Nikki comes out as Nikki Cross.
Yeah, instead of ASH.
She's going to be cheered.
Yeah, definitely.
So bring Nikki Cross back, let her be a face, sorry. Alexa's more face than anything right now because people are just glad to see her actually wrestling.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. But there's also the thing of obviously Becky Lynch. WWE do that thing, don't they, where when they think that anyone from Wales, Ireland, Scotland, or England are all from the same country. And since we've got Clash at the Castle as the next one, they're going to be doing the thing of thinking, we should have Becky.
Castle to Castle.
But that's what they do, isn't it? They do that really, really dodgy thing of just going, you know what, they're going to get cheered because they're in the hometowns. Like, no.
That's an American thing, isn't it? It's an American thing. Like, if you talk to an American about, I went to Europe. What does that mean? Barcelona or Stockport? Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Everything's one location, isn't it?
So I can see why they would have done the term, because obviously, hardly any faces, and also they'll be thinking huge pop at Clash at the Castle.
Which there will be.
Becky and Drew.
Yeah.
Which there would have been regardless of whether she was heel or face.
Oh, yeah.
So they've probably right.
Honestly, I cannot wait for Clash at the Castle. Not because we're going, because
it's different, isn't it? It's something different.
No, it's purely not even the fact that it's something different, because at the end of the day, they could have done the same thing in insert historical city in America and call it the same thing. It's the fact that as a major, like an actual pay-per-view, I know we had NXT London, I went to that, it was great, but an actual UK WWE pay-per-view, there isn't going to be anything on social media about, this crowd's dead.
No, because I've been to Raws and SmackDowns over here, and the crowd's bastards, in a good way.
Yeah.
We're all very leery.
Even at the house shows that we go to, the crowd's.
Yeah.
You can catch me and Danny in a January 21, I believe.
Yeah.
A couple of episodes of NXT UK leading chance of Pretty Deadly, leading chance of Primark trousers.
And,
because you can the UK audience, I'm not just like, we start that. Anybody can start the most random chant, and you'll have every single person in that arena doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that reminds me of an Impact show I went to at Manchester, and Tyrus was out with EC3 and all that lot. So Tyrus was out there, and I started to call his mum a chant. He fucking glared right at me because I was in the front row. And you can see that on Impact Plus somewhere, but I don't know where. I couldn't tell you when it was or anything like that because I didn't have that much interest. But the crowd got proper into that, and it was magical.
Well, for the 3 people watching this who have Impact Plus, you can go back and tell us when that was. Danny, what were your thoughts on this?
I just want to quickly interject. I don't think that 3 people watching this would have Impact Plus. Sorry, carry on.
The 3 people who used to have Impact Plus was us, and that's because it was given.
We haven't got it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not being nice.
I can't really say much more to what you guys have said, but yeah, great match.
Glad you're on the pod.
I thought you were about to say, can't say really more to what you guys said, but yeah, no one watches Impact Plus.
Yeah, none of us fuckers do we. But no, I enjoyed it. It was really entertaining, and the whole Bailey coming back, Dakota Kai coming back, it was great to watch. I actually thought they were going to scrap him, but never mind.
I love that they didn't.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tease.
Because now we've got the pop for them coming back, which the crowd erupted. You had the build-up of the stare down, and then the great heel work of just moving away and being like, nah, we'll see you tomorrow night, guys.
I kept thinking Becky was going to turn on Bianca and start attacking her.
To be fair, so did I, but then I was like, this would be a very strange fact. It's like when people say how, like, oh, they should have done the club in properly in WWE and then had Balor and Styles, and it's like, well, no, because neither of them would be the follower.
Yeah.
You'd have the same thing with Becky and Bailey.
Yeah. Like what happened with when Sasha and Bailey hit that level where they were both women's champions, and the egos amongst them both because they were heel wouldn't allow them to actually work as a team for a while.
Exactly.
Because of how the characters were. So, yeah.
We went to see NXT on the 17th of January 2020. I've just had a look.
What he said.
Yeah. That was the show.
Very good.
Match number 2. Logan Paul defeats The Miz with a skull-crushing finale in a match that went on for 14 minutes and 16 seconds. A solid argument for the match of the night with the athleticism and the surprise showing from Logan, and that's after his impressive Mania debut. Yeah. Moonsault from Paul off the ring apron, a huge crossbody off the top rope, which covered a huge distance in the ring, quickly followed by standing moonsault, phenomenal forearm, and a huge picturesque frog splash from the top rope through the announce table. Overall, good, solid ring work from Logan. Made him look a legit threat, not just to The Miz, but to the roster. If he didn't have the social media presence and all that behind him, and he had just debuted as a new guy, I think he would legit be a fan favorite.
Yeah.
This match had it all from big spots to great heel work by Miz, Ciampa getting sent to the back by the referee, which I don't think we've seen that happen, especially with the arms going around.
Yeah, we haven't seen it.
We haven't seen that. Love to see it. And a surprise AJ Styles appearance, because why not? Logan Paul made his entrance to a lot of boos and left the ring to a sea of cheers. This match was it was so entertaining.
Yeah.
Danny, thoughts?
Yeah, definitely one of the matches of the night. I've never
there's
really
8 contenders for match of the night, to be fair.
Well, there is, but this definitely stands out.
6. There's 6.
There
was a 7-match show. I think.
Yeah.
5.
Was there?
5. 7-match show. Yeah. 5 match of the night's candidates. Carry on.
Oh, there was 8 matches.
No, there wasn't.
I'm counting it. There's 8 matches. Remember, you only wrote down the results for 7, though, didn't you? You said because of the main event.
Oh, the tag match.
Yeah, there's 8. Yeah.
I forgot to label match.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Carry on.
I forgot where I was now. Yeah, sorry. Logan Paul, obviously, never watched his YouTube channel, never seen him in anything. Obviously, WrestleMania was the first thing I've seen him in, and I was thinking, oh, who's this dickhead, whatever. And then he's gone and surprised us with his Mania fight, and then he's just outdone himself again with this fight. Honestly, that fucking jump from the rope through the table was just amazing, and the whole outcome of everything, it was just like top.
Yeah. Special shout out to the matching gear of Miz, Ciampa, and especially Maurice.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was a highlight of the fight. Not the outfit, just the Maurice.
All look good. Rory.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to like about this, which is the thing. Like you say, Maurice was fantastic. The good thing of them all having the matching gear as well, just to make their union thing sort of seem a bit more legit. But I also like that one of the biggest complaints under the Vince McMahon era is that Ciampa was called up to the main roster just to be a henchman. And it looks like we're getting an AJ Styles versus Ciampa program. And that alone is just like, yes, that's exactly what we want.
You said that during the thing, didn't you? You said, here we go with an AJ Ciampa match.
Yeah, it's like AJ's gone out there purely to go, right, we're going to take you away from being the Miz's bodyguard for a bit. Come on, let's do this. And that's perfectly fine. I love the fact that they're doing that. And
didn't
yeah,
Ciampa
AJ Styles
on Miz TV one episode?
I think more than like, yeah, I'm sure he did something like that. Yeah, but
That's
all the same,
stems from.
Yeah, which is cool. And but as I say, it's great that's the way that they're going out of this match. Logan Paul, like you said, Danny, was really good, really impressive. If he was on NXT, you would think that he was one of the main guys on NXT, sort of thing. If you didn't know who he was, like you say, you had no introduction to him or anything like that. If he was just some guy on NXT that turned up and wrestled like that.
This is my example point. Any negative criticisms he's got on social media is purely because of who he is.
Yeah, whereas in actual ability,
take away all of that. Yeah, take away all of that and have his first two matches as just this young wrestler Miz has brought in. Have his Mania match and this be his first two matches.
Yeah.
Fan favorite, immediate.
Yeah, definitely.
Immediately. Granted, I do have to question Miz's idea to use the fucking Charizard card as a weapon, but and more importantly for Maurice to be scared of it.
I know that was a bit of a head scratcher.
The only thing that was missing is that as he was running at Logan with it, he didn't say Charizard use Ember.
That would have been amazing.
But that's the only thing I was like.
Charizard uses fly and he just fucking leaps out.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was very fun. It makes me really enjoy Logan Paul in general because it's purely because obviously we all watch and talk about it because we love this business, right?
Yeah.
Rory, you've been involved in the business in different aspects. I've done some stuff in the business in different aspects.
Danny's there also.
Danny's there also, and Danny's just in the journalism side, but none of us would be sat here right now if we didn't love the whole thing.
Yeah.
The fact Logan has clearly trained his ass off.
Yeah.
To get this good with this little train. I know he had a good athletic background in amateur wrestling and things like that. And he's got good physique in the boxing, things like that. But the fact he's gone all out with his ability and the fact he actually got gear made.
Yes. Yeah.
Shows a respect to the business that I have to admire.
It's also that thing of obviously like 2 years ago he was at WrestleMania as a guest for Sami Zayn and that was it, and then he took a stutter or whatever.
Which he did sell quite well, to be fair.
He sold it better than Vince did this year. But
better than Vince ever.
I know. But it's that thing of he dipped his toe in, obviously, and as a fan he came out for that and everything, and then you could tell that from that he obviously wanted to go again, but they gave him a whole year until the next Mania appearance where he actually worked his ass off then and completely exceeded people's expectations. But he had the thing of being able to fall back on the Miz's ability, whereas at SummerSlam it was a case of if you're in a singles match, show us exactly what you can do, and he did a really good job. Can't fault his performance in the slightest. So fair play.
In the 8 matches that we got, his was the 3rd longest.
Yeah.
They gave him time. It gave him
Yeah.
too much time, as we'll come into later.
Yeah, because of the other
yeah,
match that
we'll
suffered because of it.
But at the same time, I don't think it suffered. I think it did.
No.
It needed to be like that. But we'll get to
suffered by being shorted, but it didn't actually suffer. I think the actual match played out really well.
We'll get to that. Should we move on to the next one? Anything else anyone want to say about that? Good talk. Match 3. Bobby Lashley defeats Theory with the Hurt Lock in 4 minutes 42. Theory attacks Lashley with the money back briefcase before the bell rings. Makes sense. They've got to keep it looking like, maybe he has a chance to beat Lashley like that. Theory beats Lashley to the mat, but Lashley says he can still go. Bell rings and the match officially begins. Theory takes fight right to Lashley and hits a rolling blockbuster. Theory goes for a suplex, but Lashley tries to reverse, but Theory floats over, lands on his feet. Lashley catches Theory with a choke slam. Theory rolls out the ring, grabs the money by briefcase, tries to head to the back. Lashley cuts him off, whipped him into the barricade. Then second time, rolls back in the ring. Theory fights back with a standing drop kick, gets a 2 count. Lashley and Theory slug it out in the middle of the ring for a bit. Lashley takes control, running power slam, charges at Theory. Theory leapfrog, posts himself in the corner. Theory rolls towards Lashley. Lashley catches him in the hurt lock, gets a submission. This is the 7th or 8th TV loss for Theory since winning Money in the Bank. Clearly to make it look like he can't get the job done and isn't a threat to the champion. Especially
until
now,
he will cash it in,
Especially now Vinnie McDaddy is no longer in his corner.
Yeah.
I think it's to make his cash in that much more surprising and give him more heat when he successfully defends the title when he has it. I think the way they're doing it is very Miz first Money in the Bank role.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get Angry Theory Girl.
Yeah, that would be great. There's the same one, only like older.
Like 10 years older.
Yeah.
Rory, thoughts?
Okay. Obviously, I think it's been a long time since we've seen any bad performance from Bobby Lashley, and I don't think he gets enough credit for how much better he is from his initial run in WWE back in 2007.
Yeah.
But I know obviously we've been experiencing our great years on TNA for a while and stuff, but this was an example of him doing a good old fashioned ass whooping and stuff as the big meaty face.
Hell of a pop as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's over, but like hell of a pop.
But also the thing of he made Theory look good in spots and everything. He made, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like it was completely one-sided.
No.
And I just enjoyed the match in general, and I like what they're doing with Theory. I think, like you say, it's going to be the case of he'll end up cashing in, and getting like the Miz sort of thing, unless they do what they did with Ziggler, where Ziggler was heel for ages but face just before he cashed in. And so we could see Theory hold on for a while. We could see him gradually turn because everyone treats him as a bitch.
Yeah, but I think if that needs to happen, it needs to be a case of they slowly phase out the selfie stuff.
Yes, they've got to get rid of that shit.
Because, like, imagine if this was Tyler Breeze, like, single run NXT, he wouldn't be able to have that turn while still coming to the ring with the selfie stick and being that self-absorbed.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what they do with it, like, I'll be incredibly disappointed if he doesn't have a successful cash-in.
Yeah. It's that thing as well of, like, I know, like, the whole selfie thing is because of Instagram, social media and all that shit and trying to sell wrestling to a younger audience and stuff, but everyone with a computer knows that you can just screenshot something. If he's in the match with fucking Bobby Lashley, he doesn't need a selfie, does he? So
no.
You can just go.
I think it's going to be a case of he slowly fades out that and becomes face, cashes in, big cheer, or they're going to double down on the heel work, and it's going to be whoever finally beats Roman, big celebration, instant cashing on them.
Oh, Cody Rhodes at Mania.
Exactly, something like
Cody
that.
Rhodes wins at Mania and Theory just dicks him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that would be ultimate heel, because the way Roman's booked, whoever beats him, whether it's someone like Cody, who, you know, will be a big moment, well, it'll all be a big moment, but someone like Cody will be a big moment, or even if it was, you know, who's Drew, for example, who could believably beat him. The way Roman is booked, they would have to take a hell of a beating in the match.
Yeah.
So it would be a thing of have it where it's literally the confetti's coming down. Have it the
Druid Clash at the Castle. Think of the heat.
I was just going to say, I bet what if he comes out and Clash in the Castle?
I don't, unless they're going to make Clash in the Castle or Clash at insert UK generic thing here. Unless that's going to become a yearly thing, I don't think they'll have that big of a moment there.
Yeah.
Because imagine like 2003, you've got something like, I don't know, who's Rock lost to. That's surprising.
Well,
right.
prime example.
Imagine Eddie beating Brock in the early 2000s, when he finally got that title, but it happened at Insurrection.
I was about to say about Insurrection.
Yeah, like if they're going to do a massive moment, it's got to be something that they're going to keep. Yeah. Because it'd be like now when they do a throwback of a vignette of this big moment and it happens at like Capital Punishment or Fatal 4-Way.
Well, what I was going to use as the example is, you remember they had that thing for ages where Triple H couldn't beat The Undertaker and it led into WrestleMania 17 and he still couldn't beat him because streak and everything. But Triple H did beat him at Rebellion and they forgot about it because it wasn't broadcast in America.
Exactly.
Even though it was a pay-per-view over here and we had to pay fucking 20 quid to watch it.
Yeah.
Triple H beat him and it didn't count.
That's what I mean. Have it. Cody at Mania would be, if they want to double down, make him the biggest fucking heel. Yeah. Even if his heat is X-Pac heat, right?
Yeah.
People
it doesn't matter. He's the champ.
People will still tune in.
That's the thing.
Cody, if we use Cody at Mania, Cody's finally done it.
Yep.
The American Dream's baby boy.
Yep.
Confetti coming down. Little WrestleMania WWE logo comes up in the corner.
Next thing, Theory clocks him.
Yeah. Briefcase back of the head, cashes in. At WrestleMania, Theory's done it. That would be.
And it works twofold because you could then give Theory a new belt.
Yeah.
That combines the two, the golden one or whatever that was rumored for Roman. Give him that.
Yeah.
And then he just goes off to SmackDown or whatever with it. So Cody brings back the Winged Eagle. There you go, done. That's an easy way of bringing that back because that's been the rumor, hasn't it?
Yeah, that would work as well because then you get because they're cashing. They have to do it for one belt, unless the world titles have officially been unified by then.
Yeah, and been turned into one belt. Yeah,
been turned into one. He has to walk away with another, in which we will get at whatever pay-per-view, Cody versus Theory. Yeah. Hopefully not for both belts. I don't know how they'd work that, but I just think that needs to be done.
Do you remember when they used to have the Eurocontinental champions and it was mainly like Angle, Jericho, D'Lo Brown randomly and they'd end up with it. But when Angle went into WrestleMania against Benoit and Jericho, they did the thing of going, right, it's a triple threat match and we were doing two falls, one's for the European and one's for the Intercontinental. And Angle never got pinned, but Jericho and Benoit walked away with both the belts.
Didn't Seth and Cena do that for the
US?
For the big in the US?
I think so. I can't really remember that much on that one.
Yeah. Danny, thoughts on the Lashley theory?
Well, I think this is one that we predicted. Like I said, you were saying we predicted pretty well. We were all discussing it on the pre-show, weren't we? Well, no, but we were having a discussion on the pre-show about how it might go, what might happen. All that.
Yeah.
We were all pretty accurate in some sort of aspect everywhere. I didn't realise it was only 4 minutes. It felt like it was longer though.
It's because there was the little beatdown before the
yeah.
Oh yeah, you taxed.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, they both put on a good fight. Like I say, I thought it was longer than that, but it makes sense. No, it was a bit of a blur to me as that one. I think I left the room during that one, to be fair.
All right. Match number 4, Rey Mysterio pins Finn Balor after a slingshot splash. 11 minutes, 4 seconds. Solid match between both teams, all getting to show what they bring to the table. Rhea being the taunting she-devil, also played off well in the match. Balor going for the 3 amigos was good heel work. Dom creating the distance is equally great babyface work. Rhea taking the chair off Balor in the match and just laying into Priest with the chairs was good. Showed Rhea was ready to do anything to win, all that jazz. Priest quickly regaining control after that made him look strong. But then it all went to shit and what made the Judgment Day look incredibly done and over, in my opinion. The fire erupts. We watch the fire go up the stairs, through the ground, Brood entrance, Edge returns, spears both Balor and Priest, and the Mysterios get the win. I think they should have had Balor and Priest get the win, then attack the Mysterios after the match, and then that's when you bring Edge back.
Yeah.
I understand he's got the issue with the Judgment Day, but you should it's got
it's
the same,
like the Nexus thing, and Edge was one of the people that was pushing for Edge for them to win.
Retribution.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They can't actually win since Edge is gone. It's pointless. A good match, just in my opinion, the Edge return should have been after the bell.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, to be fair. I don't think Rey Mysterio needed a SummerSlam win.
No,
at this point in his career. Rey, like we were saying before, Rey's the sort that he can lose a match and it doesn't mean anything because he's Rey Mysterio.
The thing is, this Edge is clearly all about throwbacks, right?
Yeah.
This version of Edge, because he came up with the Brood. He had his early 2000s single run like sunglasses on when he was coming out to Rob Zombie. And he was wearing like rated R superstar leather. Okay.
But so also his t-shirt reminded me of post neck injury Edge gear. Yeah. When he used to have the weird tribal Edge face. It was that sort of stuff. So
he had all of that. Yeah. The perfect thing would have been after the match, Judgment Day win.
Yeah.
They've beaten down Rey and Dom. Pick either Rey or Dom, don't really matter. Probably Dom. Have Dom laid in the ring. Priest puts a chair under Dom's head.
Goes through his concerto. Yeah, that's the time.
Finn raises the chair for the concerto. You know, the thing that had Edge and Christian made.
Yeah.
Huge, and what they did to so many people in the Attitude Era. Finn Balor goes up, boom, fire, Brood music. Yeah. That's the time. That's how you do it. Because it was a good feel-good moment to see Edge. And it's like, yay, Mysterios. But it just, I no longer can take Judgment Day serious.
No.
That's an issue.
I am hoping that what we get next is Edge versus Finn at Clash at the Castle.
Again, me and Dan said this, but then
it's still not a Judgment Day match, is it? That's the thing.
But even then, even if it's Finn with Judgment Day, neither man can lose.
No, because it's Edge's return.
Edge loses. That whole build-up was for nothing.
Yeah.
Finn loses. That is the last nail in the coffin of Judgment Day.
Yeah.
There is nothing that can happen between these two that will be good.
Unless they get new members that come out in that match. Yeah. And we get an inundation of new, literally, say, I don't know, 2 or 3 people run out. Let's say, I don't know, Ciampa and Gargano or whatever, if Gargano gets tempted to come back.
I would love Ciampa and Gargano back, but they shouldn't be.
But not in Judgment Day, actually. No,
you're
right. Tag team,
have Ciampa do his thing.
Have them be the ones to dethrone the Usos. Yeah, or Street Profits. Spoilers.
Have Ciampa do his thing with AJ.
Yeah.
Maybe even 1 or 2 pay-per-views. Because let's be honest, they're going to have barn burners. It's all going to be good. Then have, at the end of the final one, when they've beaten the piss out of each other, regardless of who wins, the loser offers his hand and they shake.
Yeah.
Heel face Ciampa. And then you can have Usos on Raw or SmackDown, whichever.
Yeah.
Promo, we're the best, blah, 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 beating everyone, blah, blah, blah. Ciampa comes out.
Yeah.
Yo, you ain't beating me, you big Samoan bitches. And then, I guess if no
and
one
then
else
the Usos proceed to win because the WWE keep giving them wins.
Yeah, and then it's just, there's one of you. You can't beat us. We're the Usos. All right. Looks like I'll have to do it.
Fired up, friend.
I'll have to DIY it. Boom. Gargano, big pop. Tag division actually has hope.
Yeah. That would be great.
Yeah. Danny, thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I think more than anything, I was just happy for the return of Edge.
You fucking Mark.
Can't help it. It's just great. Yeah, it was an all right match. For me, it was one of the lesser. But yeah, I think it's the whole Judgment Day thing. It's just it just seems to have just really fallen flat ever since they kicked Edge out, and like it's just something you don't buy into. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to take them as a legit threat when it's not just gang attacks. Rory, stop playing universe mode.
I'll have you know, it's my GM.
Okay, well, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Match 5. Pat McAfee defeats Happy Corbin with a diving code red. 10 minutes 43. Started with a random quiet appearing during Corbin's entrance, chanting bum ass Corbin. We then got Pat McAfee making his entrance, not to Seven Nation Army because it's only SummerSlam and doesn't warrant paying $3.2 million to use the song. The match started amazingly with Corbin shoving McAfee and Pat returning immediately with a super kick and quickly followed by a middle rope diving Hurricane Rana. McAfee had some huge moments with a clothesline to the outside, backflip from the top rope, landing on his feet after getting pushed by Corbin, and even jumping onto the top rope, Shelton Benjamin style, to hit Corbin with a superplex. Recovers well when he loses balance while standing on the top rope, and then hits a huge swanton bomb off the top rope to the outside onto a standing Baron Corbin, I'll add. Nice rest spot, finished off the match, and then the former NFL punter hits a field goal with Corbin's testicles, hits a code red for the win. As good as McAfee's performance was, Corbin did excellent heel work and did the whole big brute bully roll really well. Shoving Michael Cole. And speaking of Michael Cole,
yeah, he was great.
Rory said, because in this he was very Pat's my boy. Yeah, you can do this, Pat. Corbin, stop being a dick. He was the holler. Corey said, I preferred when you. Corey said, I preferred when you to Michael Cole. I preferred when you couldn't be biased. And Cole followed up with, well, that's changed. A lot of things have changed. Beautiful from the. I'm going to cause a shitstorm here on social media. Beautiful from the commentator, who, in my opinion, is the greatest of all time.
I actually really enjoyed Michael Cole's work at SummerSlam. And I used to be fair, I used to like Michael Cole and Taz, and I used to like Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler. They're at one point on SmackDown and stuff as well. But over the years, they turned him more into a just straight-laced play-by-play, and it didn't.
He was a straight-laced play-by-play.
They sort of got rid of his personality, and then they went, "Oh, now we're going to give him a full heel personality."
Yeah. And again, none of that
really work.
Yeah, but none of that's his choice. The fact is, everything he was given, he did, and he's still here.
Yeah.
Through all the things he had to do,
consistently on TV for 20 years doing this.
The awful heel shit he had to do, because of Vince being in his ear constantly. Having to,
but the fact that we've heard all those reports of Vince shouting at every announcer every week.
Cole having to push the fucking catchphrases, it's off time, I'm ignored, all that shit constantly. The rotating core fucking commentators he's had through the years. Yeah. And he's still here, 25 years on TV.
Yeah. I like the fact as well that this is something that I saw fairly recently, an interview with him where he basically said that working with Pat McAfee has reinvigorated him.
He said that on Pat McAfee's show.
Yes, but you can tell though, that's the thing. You can tell that the pair of them obviously get on really well because Pat McAfee is actually a decent commentator.
Yeah, Michael Cole genuinely laughs at some of the things Pat says or does, like he used to with Taz.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing that I missed about Michael Cole before, was that his personality with Taz and Jerry Lawler beforehand was great on SmackDown.
I just love how McAfee becomes Jekyll and Hyde when Nakamura's comes out. He's just all out. Fucking rocking out.
That's it, and I think that's why Pat works so well as a commentator, is because he's not had the business in his ear. Like he said in his show before, he just doesn't let Vince in his ear. If Vince starts doing this, it's just
takes it off. Yeah,
takes it off. He's just himself, and after a while, Vince was like, "Okay, this works."
Yeah. And
now, last night we saw Michael being himself
and being freed from the micromanagement.
Exactly, and it worked well. Great match. We know Pat can go. He's done it well since his first match in War Games.
Yeah.
Still bums me out he doesn't come out in wrestling gear. I feel if Logan Paul can do it, you can do it, especially when he's in the business much more than Paul is.
Yeah.
But this was a fun match. Don't think he should have won, but it was still fun.
It depends on what the plan is with Corbin next, doesn't it? I think if
he's finally
if
this leads to a change and we get a serious Corbin, and by that I don't mean he's renamed Serious Corbin.
Yeah,
you might have given Triple H an idea there.
They actually would. Corbin. That's the thing. If it was Vince, they would.
Yeah, Bully Corbin. Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah, to be fair, I would like. I know we were joking about it. I'd love to see McAfee and Corbin actually end up playing on the history and becoming a team of some sorts or whatever.
See, as much as I'd like that, because McAfee is fun to watch, I don't want him to leave the announce table.
No, leave him as an announcer, but say he says something that pisses off the bloodline.
Every couple of pay-per-views or something.
Yeah, but he could say something that pisses off the bloodline, like, some commentary that they don't agree with because they're not above bullying someone for saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, but then you get face Corbin, and I don't think that will ever work.
No, but I think this is the only way that I could see them trying to make it work would be if he came out to help.
I'd just rather not see it happen.
It'd be good to see him not go back to being the lone wolf, but being something along the lines of that.
Just being a serious wrestler.
Yeah.
He's into his like goth shit and his skulls and all that shit. Give him some wrestling gear like he had as the lone wolf. Let him wrestle without a top on, because now Vince isn't there to just shit on his body.
That's true.
And just let him be Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Match 6. The Usos defeat the Street Profits with the 1D. 13 minutes, 23 seconds. Match starts with Dawkins and Jimmy in the ring with special guest ref Jeff Jarrett, who clearly borrowed his top from Shawn Michaels. Jarrett immediately showing he won't take any shit from either team and shows he'll get physical. He pulls both men off each other when he 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, exactly. Don't get to the 5 count. He just grabs them and fucking throws them. Now these boys can't have a bad match. And even if this one wasn't quite as good as the previous bout of Money in the Bank, had some standout moments, including Dawkins really shining in this one. But I do have to say, in this match, I feel like we kept getting little glimpses of a heel Montez Ford.
Yeah.
Which, although he will be great because he has a huge future, in my opinion, they cannot split the profits up yet. If Ford has to turn heel, they both turn heel. And even though I don't know how the Street Profits work as a heel. But
I think it'd be very interesting to see, though.
When they make up 33% of the tag division, you can't split them up.
That's the biggest problem, isn't it? But it might not be just one side of them turning heel. It might be both of them.
But then they can.
But then they've got no face teams.
And also they have to ditch the cups, and it has to be a proper rebrand.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they can't come out to that. And also, in my opinion, I don't think you can be a heel and have that music.
No.
Because that music makes everyone pop. It's a great entrance theme in and of itself. But
although at the same time,
it's not a great entrance theme that would work because it's a badass theme like The Game or King of Kings. It doesn't matter heel or face.
Yeah.
I bring the swag, and that build-up I don't think would work as heels. And I don't think they should change. Granted, they need to be away from the tag division, from the tag titles for a bit now. But
although one counterpoint to your theme music thing is Sami Zayn.
Well, they changed it.
Yeah, I know, but for a while they didn't, and it was still great seeing him come out and mock his old entrance music and everything for a while. So
yeah,
it worked for a while. Although, yeah, like I say,
thoughts on this match, Danny?
Yeah, well, like we were saying throughout the whole live feed, like there was some, it was actually quite a really entertaining match. There was some good fucking moves. There was some, like, we thought that was going to be a little bit of Jeff Jarrett costing somewhere, but
yeah, it felt really.
Happened,
I think it's because we've gone so long of whenever there's a special guest referee, they screw somebody.
Yeah,
or they have to be involved in some way.
Yeah, that when you get a special guest referee whose job it is as a former wrestler to call it down the middle and not like be a bump merchant, that when they do exactly what they're supposed to do, it feels really weird.
The last time that happened, that I recall,
Mick Foley.
Properly. No, I was going to say Triple H for Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. And then they take. You can remember he was fine all the way through the match, and then
but then
he was like, pedigree.
Yeah, that had an ulterior motive.
Here's
So
Orton,
I feel we can't count that.
I was just going to say, is that one where Orton comes out with Money at Bank?
Yeah,
because he pedigrees him. So I feel like, although during the match he was down the middle, it was only because in storyline, regardless,
he was getting ready. Yeah,
he was getting ready because he's like, all right, well, if I have to do the 1, 2, 3 for Daniel to win, well, then I've got Orton. So I feel like we can't really get on that.
But the match itself, though, was still unusually smooth.
Yeah, as I said, good match. These guys always have good matches, but I just don't. It didn't shine like the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah, I will agree with that. There's not really a lot I can add on to anything that you guys have said. So
Riddle comes through the crowd after this match, heads into the ring, calls out Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins heads towards the ring. Riddle meets him in the aisle. Riddle and Rollins brawl into the ring, but Rollins gets the best of Riddle, hits the stomp. Officials check on Riddle, and other officials escort Rollins to the back. At least they addressed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a thing. I can't tell if this is a work injury or not, because I feel like if it was real, this wouldn't have happened.
It depends on the extent of it.
Yeah.
The thing is, it might be a case of Riddle might have been cleared on the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It might have been cleared on the day, and it's too late in the day for them to rewrite the show.
The only thing that confused me was that Rollins put out a tweet or something. Yeah, it was a tweet, and was like, "I've worked my ass off for 6 months to perform here. Thank you, blah blah blah. Keep singing my song. Maybe one day they'll hear it." And Triple H replied to it,
"I hear you. Yeah,
I hear you." So I feel like that. When I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe we're getting another mystery opponent. Like, it doesn't have to be a big shocking one, but maybe we're getting like Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah,
or like somewhere where it's going to have a good match, and but I don't know.
Max Dupree.
Yeah,
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
look, if he's
that would have still been a banger. Yeah,
we also saw a Maximum Male Models promo in which Max Dupree is there. Vince.
I just want to point out that was one of the best promos I've ever seen for everything.
This is what I'm saying. This is why, like, when they get tag titles, I cannot wait for the vignettes and the promos of them doing the champion model walks and shit. It's gonna be great. Mansoor and Massey, big man, little man, both are actually pretty decent. They've got Maxine Dupree, who will be a great manager when they're in the matches, like to do like the Melina role, like she did with Eminem. And Max Dupree,
who we know is great on the mic and in the ring.
Exactly. So they literally have two good workers, someone who can do the like Melina manager role.
Yeah, and then a proper hype man.
The big talker. They could be top talent when it comes to tag titles, and I'd love to see tag belts on them.
I hope we see Max Dupree wrestle before long.
I don't think as much as I'd love it, but I don't want to see Max Dupree wrestle.
No, but
I want to see LA Knight or
I want to see LA Knight wrestle. So if he's not LA Knight, just be the talker. Because at the end of the day, he's what, 39?
Yeah.
40? He's getting
around about that. He's got to be, because
he's getting up there.
He said for years that he didn't think he'd end up in WWE because of his age.
Yeah.
So that's why when he left Impact, he went to NWA.
Yeah, exactly. If he's got to be the talker, cool. As long as he's on my TV. But I want to see if he wrestles. I want it to be LA Knight wrestling.
Yeah.
Match 7. Excuse me. Liv Morgan defeats Ronda Rousey by stacking her while in an armbar, 4:38. Rousey judo throws Morgan to start and then peppers her with jabs in the corner. Rousey lands a leaping knee to the jaw, throws her to the mat for a 2 count. Rousey lifts Morgan on the shoulder, but Morgan counters into a code breaker, which was actually called the code breaker, which is surprising because Vinnie Mac did ban it, which means we could be getting that whole random list of banned words by Big Vince.
They're going to say wrestling again on TV, aren't they?
They're going to say belts.
They are going to say belts.
They're going to say belts. Morgan tries to roll Rousey into a pinning predicament, but Rousey rolls through, goes for an armbar. Morgan counters into the rings of Saturn. Rousey again goes for the armbar, but Morgan counters into a crucifix driver for a 2 count. Rousey locks in the armbar, but Morgan makes it to the ropes. Medics check on Morgan's arm, but Morgan says she can go. Rousey immediately catches Morgan with a flying armbar, but Morgan stacks Rousey with her shoulders on the mat. Morgan taps to the armbar, but the referee makes the 3 count because he's looking at the shoulders. Morgan gets the win, but the replay clearly shows that Morgan tapped before the 3 count. After the match, Rousey snaps, attacks both Morgan and the referee. This match was cut for time because Logan Paul and Miz went over, but I feel like this match should have been this short, should have ended like that.
It went really well.
I said for it to do this because,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is one of the 4 things you got right about the show.
Yeah.
Unlike Danny's unheard of 7
out of 8. Which one did he get wrong?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah, it was. Yeah, we all said Judgment Day. We all got that wrong.
Yeah, because that's what.
So did WWE.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look, I know. So I would every time a match finished, I was interested to hop on Twitter and just latest tweet and see what's going on because I was interested to see reactions. People saying Liv should have got to show what she could do, not against Ronda.
No
way.
Liv has consistently failed to
capture,
to deliver when it comes to big moments. Money in the Bank, I would argue that
that was a fucking botch match.
It was.
Many
but
money.
The Money in the Bank match itself, I wouldn't call as big wins in character because time has shown anyone can win a Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
All you're doing is being the first one to pull.
They've done a good job of going from like, okay, a random jobber could win it to fuck it, Kane's having it this year. Or,
yeah, that's what I mean. Anyone can win it. In universe, in WWE, you could get beaten down for the first 15 minutes of the match, be knocked unconscious for the next 14 minutes, and then on that 30th minute, wake up and climb up and grab it because people are fighting. That's the illusion that the Money in the Bank match is, right? So if that's the illusion, although it's a great thing to win it, it shouldn't be counted as a earned win because, for example, again same with ladder matches. Look at Zack Ryder when he won the IC at Mania. All he did was climb up behind Miz and push him off.
Yeah.
Big moment. He won the belt, but the match itself, all it is the opportunity and timing.
Yeah.
So people saying she should have had time. She's not been able to do anything. And her first defense against Ronda Rousey, and people expect her to put in a good showing. The good thing is, on paper, now, Liv is the only person to pin Ronda Rousey twice.
In back-to-back matches as well.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well, the good side of this is because Ronda's just lost a rematch, that's it, in theory.
In theory,
they could say that's it. I mean, they probably won.
We are getting heel Ronda, which is good because she shouldn't be a face. She despises wrestling fans, and it's fucking mutual.
Yeah.
But if they're going to have another match of Clash in the Castle, put another person in there. That person can take the pin,
or make it a fatal 4-way match so it's more
But then,
acceptable for Liv to get the win.
Yeah, and that way, Liv can get a clean win, but she doesn't have to pin Ronda because she can't.
And Ronda can still be destroying everybody all the way through that match.
Yeah, exactly. You can literally have it where it's, Ronda doing what they do. All 3 finally decide to team up and they can put her like off the turnbuckle through a table or something that would take her out of the last 5 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
And then be believable.
Or the other side with that, if it's a fatal 4-way, she could be outside, have someone in an arm bar, and Liv gets a roll up in the ring. Done.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
or even have it so Ronda's got the arm bar, where they've got the legs either side of the arm.
Yeah.
And she's pulling, and Liv comes up and just puts her arm on the person she's doing it to.
Or covers Ronda.
Yeah. There's
like in the middle of that, Ronda's like 2 shots, like, what the fuck? Like,
exactly.
And then gets free counted.
Yeah, like that would work, but you can't expect Liv to. If this was Liv versus Natalya,
then it could be clean. Yeah.
Liv versus
Carmella.
Liv versus anyone really on the SmackDown roster.
Yeah. With the only exceptions really, I'd say, being like Charlotte, Becky, Bianca, and maybe
But they're Raw, aren't they?
No, I mean in general. Like
in general, but on the SmackDown roster, I can't really think of anyone off the top of my head.
No, she could take on any of them.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think any. Have you got anything else to add to that, Danny?
Not really, no.
Well, you have a new one. Match number 8 and the main event of the evening is the one I refused to write notes for because it was that fucking ridiculous. Roman Reigns
at the same time.
The match of shithousery.
Yeah, it was great. Roman Reigns defeats Brock Lesnar when Lesnar can't get back to his feet for the 10 count. 22 minutes and 57 seconds in a match that included interference, tables, and a tractor.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot you could say about it, really, is there?
There isn't, but I would like to add, did you guys see the link I put in the group chat?
The Lesnar afterwards?
No, when Lesnar's introducing himself, he throws
Roman,
and he just catches it properly and
like nothing, just like
yeah, amazing.
That was great.
This was arguable. Well, not. I don't think it's arguable. I think this was the best Roman Brock we've ever had.
Yeah.
The fact it was a false count anywhere meant that the false finishes were even closer than your 3 counts, because there were times mid-match where I was like, I don't think he's getting up now.
Yeah.
It would be on 9 and Brock would still be laid fucking like an X position.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is no, he's up.
Back up he gets.
The theory.
That was great.
That was the best tease I think we might have ever had for a cash-in.
Yeah.
Because it looked like
I love that Roman just picked up the briefcase, just whacks him on fucking head for no reason.
Yeah, when he's down, he just picks it up. Like, fuck you. It was great. I
like that Brock just immediately went for him as well when he saw him, as if to say,
F5
this shit's happened to me before. It's not fucking happening again.
Exactly. Paul Heyman taking an F5 through the table.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that.
Paul bet through his entire WWE tenure, he barely takes a bump.
And it's never normally an actual proper bump, is it? It's normally like someone will go after him and maybe get a couple of punches on him and he'll fall from a punch. I've not seen him properly get taken down by anything.
Not seen a male man, because I know there's that massive period where like female managers couldn't be touched, etc.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a male manager be so protected physically since Bobby Heenan.
Yeah. And
even Bobby Heenan didn't really take bumps. He might get grabbed and pushed off the apron, or get someone Irish whipped into him.
Yeah.
But, Bobby Heenan never took a fucking power slam.
Yeah.
Whereas Paul Heyman's been protected massively. And the fact he did it was like, oh, okay. It gave extra to the fact Brock might do this. Yeah,
he did, to be fair. Obviously we recorded on Thursday night, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I watched SmackDown, and the end of SmackDown made me think, we could get Brock versus Drew at Clash at the Castle with Theory going for a cash-in afterwards, because that's how the ending of SmackDown made you want to do. They wrote it well, like in the Attitude Era and stuff, when you'd watch the ending of a show and you'd think, oh shit, I'd never considered that they might go down this route, but they've just spelled it out for us for this could potentially happen next month or whatever. And it was one of those sorts of jobs like they used to do all the time when Raw and SmackDown used to end on a thing of making you want to see what happens next, instead of just, oh yeah, he's knocked out, they're all celebrating. So I thought for a second when we got that Brock was actually going to do it, and we were going to get Drew versus Brock, and then Theory cashing in.
Yeah,
but obviously
we're getting Roman Drew at Clash, which everyone knew since the fucking poster came out. That was what's going to happen.
Everyone knew that at some point this was going to happen when they had that Survivor Series match where Drew passed out that time as WWE champion, and then lost the title a couple of months later. Everyone's like, yeah, he's going to go to SmackDown. Then they put him on SmackDown, and he's not had a single title shot in the year that he's been on there. Come on, they're giving him the belt.
I hope not. I don't like Drew as a main event guy.
No, I think if he didn't have the sword,
heel. Take the sword away.
It was decent as a
turn him how he was when he came up.
Yeah.
With the whole
Shane and Elias thing.
I'll just batter people. That mentality with his now improved ability to talk.
Yeah.
And not like putting the microphone and high-fiving a child in the front row.
Yeah.
Like that is, I just don't. It could just be me, and if it is just me, fair enough. But I don't like him as the face. It's something really weird to me that we're no longer in 1989. We don't need a 6'7" monster as a face.
Yeah.
with the exceptions, there's some people over time, you know, your takers and that can be faces all through. That's because they've got the legacy. But just a 6'7" dude who can realistically and believably beat pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be the face.
No, I agree. So.
And I'm looking forward to Clash in the Castle, mostly because we don't have to be awake at 4 a.m.
That's true.
I don't know. I always acknowledge my tribal chief.
Yeah.
But now, when this happens, it won't be as a meme. Drew can't win.
No.
Unless there's an instant cash in.
Which would be amazing.
Yeah, that's the only way I'd do it. We haven't even mentioned the fact that Brock Lesnar, with Roman Reigns in the ring, lifted the fucking ring off the ground.
And Seth Roman actually flying.
Yeah, great moment. But I did have to think, imagine paying all that money for front row.
Oh, yeah, and you're behind it. I thought that,
The rest of the thing, they are blocked because the ring's fucking 12 feet in the air.
Yeah. And they're all just having to try and like scramble to see the Titantron or whatever, which they also can't see because the fucking ring's up like that.
No, but it was a very fun match. The Usos getting involved, obviously. Hilarious to see some of the tweets about, Roman can't do it on his own. It's almost like he's the heel. He needs interference. Almost like he's the heel.
It is one of those things that always confuses me when you're like, but if you had that at your disposal, if it was a no disqualification match, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If like one of the three of us, let's say, fantasy booking and all that sort of stuff. If it was say one of the three of us on a show, and two of them are at ringside, and the other one's having a match, but it's also no DQ, why wouldn't everyone just run it?
I would be in there from the start of the bell.
Exactly.
It's
the same with that Judgment Day match. That, in fact, that's what I should have pointed out earlier. That was the biggest thing that naffed me off about the Ray.
Rhea wasn't battling people.
Well, not that. It was just the fact that at first it started like a normal tag match and stuff. You're like, no, you just fucking run at each other. It's no DQ. You don't need to be tagging in and out. It's literally no disqualification. So, yeah. Especially the heel groups. You think that they would be taking advantage of all these sorts of situations. But,
definitely.
But Judgment Day did feel like they'd also already been taken advantage of, to be fair.
Yeah.
But, yeah, anyway. Hey, the tractor was great. I loved that.
Danny, thoughts on... Sorry, Karen.
Sorry, I was just going to say, and also the bit that happened for the live crowd afterwards as well, I think we should probably get into after Danny's given us his thoughts.
Danny, thoughts on the match?
Yeah, no, it was great fun. It was just pure shithousery at every fucking corner of it, wasn't it? It was just great fun. Great way to end an absolutely awesome pay-per-view. And it was also great to watch a little ginger retard cry because Brock fucking lost again. So
I would be the one that lives with Danny.
I was going to just not offer any context.
Connor got a picture at 5 a.m. in the morning of me holding up it theory style. There's Ashley fucking
For those at home, this is a stepchild with his own bedroom and not just like one in the basement.
Well,
the ones in Danny's basement don't get to watch WrestleMania, SummerSlam. And after the match, Brock, after the show's gone off air, Roman wins, blah blah. The show's gone off air. Lesnar climbs into the still elevated ring, still on one side, gets his cowboy hat, climbs up to the raised turnbuckle, puts his arms around to probably stop himself falling to death. He tips his hat, gives a wave to the crowd. Very much seems like
he gone.
That goodbye.
Yeah, like it's a last hurrah.
Every other, even like since he's been back as big face Cowboy Brock, when he's lost, he's just done that slow, like hands on waist, disappointed walk to the back.
Yeah.
Whereas this was after the show's off air, giving an actual wave. And tipping his hat. It seems like very much a goodbye thing, which I wouldn't be surprised based on if the rumors are true of him storming out upon hearing about Vince. Even though he came back, it could have been a thing of like, look, okay, if you want to go,
I'll be a professional.
If you want to go, we'll let you go. We won't make you do out anything, even if he had, let's say, he had 2 or 3 more matches in his contract, even if there was like, if you come back, just do SummerSlam and then that your contract can be done.
Yeah.
Just, everyone says with Triple H, especially being there now, he could have probably spoken to Brock and been like, just do it professional and do it for the crowd.
Yeah.
And then that's your goodbye. We could see Brock in fucking tomorrow.
Yeah, we could. Or tonight even.
Or tonight, at time recording, Monday. We could see him tonight. But it definitely gave the illusion of a goodbye, in which case, hell of a way to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And if that is an official he's done with the company, Hall of Fame main eventer.
Yeah, he just goes
because Vince won't.
Easily.
I don't think Vince is going to go in alive.
I think he'll go in.
He didn't even like people mentioning his name by inductees.
It depends how long he actually. I don't mean this to sound morbid, but he's 77, isn't he? And there's all reports that he's sort of losing his marbles a bit, isn't there? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
I don't know how true they are.
I put it in the group chat, didn't I? The news is he's been having memory issues over the past couple of years, and it just progressively got worse. But
the thing is, I think
it could be a thing if there's a lot.
I don't think they'll put him in the. I don't think he'll go in the Hall of Fame this year because of the investigations.
Yeah, true.
I think maybe maybe in time for WrestleMania 40.
Yeah, WrestleMania 40. That'd be a big one. I won't be surprised if there's a lot of rumors about everything. Obviously, rumors are.
Yeah, we don't know what's true and not. Yeah.
If there are truth in the rumors of like him having suspected dementia or Alzheimer's, then I imagine they'll want to get him in before it gets worse. Go. But that could all be bollocks. So I'm not really going to put too much time in those rumors.
Yeah.
I know it seems like we probably glossed over the main event, but honestly, it was your standard Brock Roman no DQ match with your interferences. But it was a lot more entertaining with it being a last man standing. They kept Brock looking strong on the way out. He kept getting up. They had to bury him in the broken announce table and steps and everything.
Yeah.
The Theory Phil cash-in, as we said, was great. Roman walking out, still tribal chief, still champion, great. Rory, what would you give SummerSlam out of 5 stars?
I'd give it 5. Loved it. I'd go so far as to say that SummerSlam was as good, if not better, than most WrestleManias in the last decade.
Danny?
Yeah, I'd definitely give it 5 stars. I mean, from start to finish, we were hooked. We were dropping our jaws. We was reacting. Yeah. It was just full of surprises. It was full of shocks. Honestly, it was, and from the get-go,
full of surprises from the guy who got 7 out of 8 right.
No, but the Bailey return, Edge coming back, and McAfee's performance, Logan Paul's performance. Do you know what I mean? It was just, all around. It was just top notch. So yeah, definitely 5 star.
Bailey returned. It's a 5. Don't care what happened. It could have been the worst pay-per-view from then. Bailey's back. It's a 5 star.
Yeah,
that's it.
It was one of those nice rare occasions where there wasn't a single match where you thought, "Fuck this match."
No,
there was the result for the Judgment Day thing.
The Judgment Day one, I was like, yeah, you've done it wrong. But the actual match itself and the whole performance, the fact it was a stadium with that long ass ramp made it feel like a big show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all. The presentations also half of that, yeah. And it looked and felt like.
Fuck the Undertaker won't fight.
Oh, no. There was no ramp for him to appear halfway up from.
He'd have to appear out a football pitch.
Or they do like they did with Edge, where there's just randomly a little structure in the middle of the ramp for him to come out from.
You know what I did when I saw that? I was like, I wonder how many fans have just ignored the match and just spent the last 10 minutes watching that get built.
I reckon that's why his hair was darker and he was wearing the shades and everything, just so that they didn't recognise him. They just thought he was like
he was the one building it.
they just thought it was like some random sound tech guy that's just there doing some tests. He's got like a headset on and some cables behind him.
He's got like those like rip off like jogging pants, and he's got a crew t-shirt and like a beanie on, and he's just building it until he gets there.
And a toolbox and a spanner in his hand.
Yeah, gets in there, duffel bag, just rips it off like Party Boy from WrestleMania. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, very good show. I'm excited for Clash at the Castle. I'm personally praying we don't get a Drew champion unless Theory cashes in immediately. But It's going to be interesting to see what matches we get. I hope that because it's in the UK, they don't skimp us out of title matches, because I wouldn't be surprised based on this that we get Bayley, Dakota, and Io versus Bianca, Becky, and certain other face here.
Unless we get Bayley versus Bianca.
And I would love that, because then you can have Bayley beat Bianca, and then at Mania, Bianca beats Bayley. And that's Horsewoman number 3 ticked off at Mania.
And she just got to take down Charlotte.
Exactly. It's got to take It's got to take down Charlotte, which will never happen probably, and that will be that story.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get Intercontinental.
We'll have to get Gunther versus Shinsuke, won't we?
We got to, because Gunther is like huge UK, like in the UK wrestling scene.
Yeah.
Him in Progress, especially. Huge.
It seems really weird that it's not like deemed a priority title all of a sudden. You've got US that's getting put on pay-per-views, but Intercontinental's being defended on SmackDown.
Yeah, but the US is only getting put on pay-per-views now because it's got direct links to the main feud.
Yeah.
But like we said, there was a lot of this pay-per-view was already written
in motion,
with Vince. But Clash is going to be WWE's first Triple H full pay-per-view. Yeah. So I would hope that we get all the titles defended.
And we start to see them have a bit more meaning and stuff as well.
Yeah.
I'd like that as well. So.
But yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been our SummerSlam review show. I've been your host, Connor Franks, joined by Rory Bailey and Danny Franks. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. We'll catch you all next time.